If your ex broke up with you prematurely, do they ever sit around just thinking about you after the breakup? I'm Coach Benny, and I help people get their exes back. And the answer to this question is yes and no. Let me explain. So, for the type of people that break up with you out of the blue and they don't really give reasons that make sense, for that type of breakup, that's usually done by what we call a dismissive avoidant. Somebody with a dismissive avoidant attachment style. This is somebody that was emotionally neglected in childhood, most likely. And they break up with you when they get stressed out, and they kind of break up with you out of nowhere for reasons that don't make sense. And it leaves you like, WTF. These kind of people do think about you after the breakup, even though it seems like they don't. When you look at their social media or things that they do and say right after the breakup, it looks like in many cases that they're just living their best life and they give zero fucks about you. If you keep contacting them, they'll get cold, they'll get mean, they'll be super distant, and it will seem like it's a whole different person after the breakup. And it makes you feel like they never think about you at all. And it's not really true. A lot of times you'll see these same people check your social media and they'll watch your stories all the time. So you can tell just by that reason alone that they are thinking about you. But the kicker is this: they might think about you, but what they're going to do, especially for this 3-month period of time after the breakup, typically while you're in no contact, they actually distract against the pain of the breakup. So yes, they'll be curious about what you're doing. They will think about you, but they won't let the feelings get to such a threshold where they take action off of that. Or if it does happen that way, they'll get super sad and they'll cry, and it'll happen like in their fucking basement somewhere where you don't know about it. But they will not let it cause them to reach out to you, because those feelings that they're having, which they do try to avoid, by the way, if it even gets to that level, it makes them just want to give up and feel bad about the situation as opposed to chase after you. This is all happening in that early stage of the breakup. So in the first 3 months after the breakup, they're not going to let the feelings get to such a point where they come back after you typically. If you're early in the relationship, sometimes, yes, they can reverse themselves really quickly after a week or two and come back around and just, want to take you back and get back together, etc. But that is for early stages, and it doesn't always happen. But here's the interesting thing. If you let enough time go by, an ex that breaks up with you like this will think about you, and they will obsess about you, and the feelings will not leave them alone. How do I know this? Because they call me and they want to know how to get their exes back after they push somebody away. But it almost always takes longer than 3 months for that to happen. So you have to go into no contact, give them time alone, right? And then eventually those feelings will haunt them. The reason this happens is because they suppress their emotions, so they avoid them, but they all come bubbling back up later. So yeah, your ex is thinking about you, okay? And they miss you, but it's only to a degree, and they're going to suppress those feelings. But eventually you will be able to get them back if you follow my advice. So click into my profile, click this link, set up a call with me, and I want to hear your story, and I'll give you a plan to get your ex back. And you can also join my community in this link right here, where every single week we do group calls. You can keep me up to date with your situation. You can access my course library and lean on other people in your exact situation.